Right then, so let's have a look at these next few questions. Remember what I was saying before? Pause, play as you work through. All right, it's fine to keep pausing it if you're not sure. Get a little bit more instruction from myself. So, four counters, four red ones, X blue ones, two counters removed from the bag. So it's the same basic structure. Here we go. So got two counters, we got red, we got blue, we got red, blue, red, blue. What am I told? I'm told the probability that both counters taken are blue is 1 over 3. So that's that bit down there. And what's the other bit of information we're told? We're told we got 4 red ones and we got X blue ones. So what's the probability of getting a red one? The probability of getting a red one is, well, there's 4 red ones. How many counters are there altogether? It's 4 plus X. 4 plus X. So what's the probability of getting a blue one? Well, there's X blue counters over 4 plus X. There we go. Right. This bit's the tricky bit, just here. So if I take a blue one out, that means I've got one less here. And in total, I've got one less as well. So I've got 4 plus X, take away 1. That's 3 plus X. There we go. And what do I know? I know that this multiplied by this equals a third. So we write that down. So what have we got? We got X over 4 plus X multiplied by X minus 1 over 3 plus X equals 1 over 3. So let's tidy up this right hand side. Sorry, left hand side. So what do we got? We got X squared minus X over. So that's going to give me X squared, X squared plus 7X plus 12. Alright, remember what you might need to do there is you might need to go off somewhere else and actually multiply your brackets out. Okay, you can practice multiplying this out. Alright, but if you're going to go and do it somewhere else on the page, and that equals 1 over 3. Right, so let's stop this from being fractions. So multiply by 3, multiply by this lot over here. Right, again, it's giving me a 1 there, so it's just making my life a little bit easier. So what's that going to give us? That's going to give us 3x squared minus 3x equals x squared plus 7x plus 12. What do we need to do from here? We need to make it equal to 0. So let's go to the left because of the x squared. So that gives me 2x squared. And we're going to have take away 10x, take away 12 equals 0. They're all even, so let's half everything because it's just going to make my life easier because we can divide everything by 2. Now let's have a look to see if we can factorize. Alright, that's a minus, so therefore one's got to be a plus, one's got to be a minus. Two numbers multiplied together to give me minus 6, add together to give me minus 5. It's got to be with 6 and 1, so it's going to be that way round. What does x need to be? X is going to have to be 6. X is 6 to make this work. Could also be minus 1, but obviously we reject that because it cannot be a negative. So, and the question was, work out the value of x. There you go, we've done it. Right, there's question 4. Right, so let's have a look at question 5. All right, same idea again. This question 5 is very similar question. Very similar. So again, just pause it if you followed me through there, and then have a go. So two counters removed from the bag. So again, it's the same structure: red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. What are we told? Probability that both counters taken a red is 5 over 33. 5 over 33. So 5 red counters, x blue counters. So that means I've got 5 over 5 add x. I could write this one down as well. Yeah, we'd write that one. That's x. 5 plus x there as well. We could write these, but I'm interested in this one. So what do we got there? If I've got one less red one, and one less overall, 4 plus x. What do we know now? This multiplied by this equals this. So let's write it down. So 5 over 5 plus x multiplied by 4 over 4 plus x equals... There we are. Right, multiply this out. So that's going to give me 20 over x squared plus 9x plus 20 equals 5 over 33. Ooh, yuck. I thought that might work out a little bit nicer, but it's not, is it? Okay, so we're just going to multiply both sides by x squared plus 9x plus 20. So that's going to give me... No, I haven't missed anything there. I thought I might be able to see a nice little shortcut, something that was going to cancel down for us, but I cannot at the moment. Plus 100, and then 20 times 33 is 660, and we're going to take away 660 from both sides, so that gives us 5x squared plus 45x, take away 560. 5's going to go into everything, so divide everything by 5. 9x minus, so 560 divided by 5 is 112. Okay, like that. And we've got equals 0. One's going to be plus, one's going to be a minus, because we've got a minus 112 there. I'm trying to think of numbers, nice numbers that are going to go into 112. Let's try something like, see what 8 is. 8 and 14, that's not quite working. 112 divided by 16. 16 and 7, they've got a difference of 9, haven't they? There we go. So that must be that way round. Okay, like I said, you know, I've not done these questions before because I wanted you to see, you know, what I was thinking there. I was just looking to see if there was something here that I could cancel out just to make this process a bit easier. So okay, so x could equal minus 7. Well, it can't equal minus 7, can it? Because that wouldn't make sense in the context of the question. So x must equal 16. Remember, if I was in an exam, I might actually write down x cannot equal minus 7 because it's negative. All right, it'd be worth writing that just to make that absolutely clear. Right, so number 6. Here we go. Let's see if we can quickly do this one. So what do we got just here? Number 6. Okay, right. It's a nice question, this, because I like these questions where it says show that, because even if I cannot do part A, I can do part B, right? So if you look at this question and you get like, you think, oh no, I can't do anything at all. Well, actually you could do part B, right? There's no reason why you can't do part B. In fact, I'm going to do part B first because I can factorize this. There we go. So I'm going to have, oh, wait a minute, it's negative and a plus. What does that mean? That means I've got, both are going to be negative, 3 and 10. Right, we'll come back to that in a second. So n could equal 3 or 10, and that's confusing, isn't it? Because it looks like there's 2 solutions. Right, now that was a bit weird because I've done part B first. I haven't quite done part B. Right, you'll see in a second, right? Because one of those answers is not going to make sense. Right, so it's the same sort of structure of question here, right? So we've got 2 counters. Right, I'm glad we've always seemed to have red and blue. Red and blue, red and blue. 2 of them are being taken out. Now this time it says there are n counters in the bag. 4 of the counters are red. So that means I can write the probability of red is 4 over n. It does not get replaced. What about the blue counters? What's the probability of blue? Well, how many blue counters are there? Well, we know that there's n counters altogether, and we know there's 4 red ones. So how many blue ones are there? Yeah, be n take away 4. Right, And what we told? We told the probability that Ross takes 2 blue counters. So that's this one down here. So this is the one that I'm interested in, right? Again, I can write the others down, but this is the one I'm interested in. So n take away 4. Well, 1 less than n take away 4. Now be careful here, because 1 less than n take away 4 is going to be n take away 5. Okay? And then n take away 1. So this multiplied by this equals this. Right, so let's see. N take away 4 over n multiplied by n take away 5 over n minus 1 equals 1 over 3. Right, looking for a nice shortcut. No, I can't see anything, so let's just multiply it out. So n squared take away 9n plus 20. So I've just done n minus 4 times n minus 5 over n squared minus n equals 1 over 3. Right, multiply both sides by n squared minus n and multiply both sides by 3, and then that gives us 3n squared minus 27n plus 60. So I multiplied everything by 3, get rid of that. Multiply everything by n squared minus that. Let's make it equal to 0. Remember, I'm trying to get to this over here. Okay, so like I said, I quite like these questions because you can see. So take away n squared from both sides, 2n squared. Add n to both sides. Now be careful, it's not minus 28, it's minus 26. Yeah, it's negative, so it goes the opposite way. And plus 60 equals 0. Everything's even, so half everything, just divide everything by 2. So minus 13n plus 30 equals 0. Yay, that's what we were looking for. Right, now let's go back to what we said before. N is 3 or 10. Well, how can n be 3? How can the probability of getting a red one 4 over 3? N has to be more than 4. Alright, so what I would do here is I would actually say, right, so it cannot be this, alright, because n has to be more than 4. So n equals 10. Alright, now if you want to get the full mark, say, you'd really need to explain why it cannot be 3. And all you got to do, say, look, it's got to be more than 4, right? It doesn't make sense to have that there. Right, there we go. Right, last one, number 7. Here we are. Right, so there we go. So again, now this is virtually identical question here. So you know, just like I said, if you've not managed sort of too many of the others so far, then you know this is a good opportunity to pause it and just see if you can follow through what we did a second ago. It's virtually the same thing. Right? It talks about red and blue counters, and it talks about 2 of them being taken out. All right. There are n counters in the bag. 8 of them are red. So 8 over n. What's the probability of blue? Well, how many blue counters are there? There are n minus 8 blue ones. How many counters in total? N. Right, what's the link here? Probability that it takes 2 blue counters is 1 over 5. So that's bits down there is 1 over 5. So this is the bit I'm interested in just down here. So n take away, so 1 less than n minus 8 is n minus 9 over n minus 1. So this multiplied by this equals this. So let's write that down. Over n times n minus 9 over n minus 1 equals 1 over 5. There we are. Right. So let's multiply all this together. So what do we got? We've got n squared can have take away 17n. I'm doing n minus 8 times n minus 9 plus 72. So you might need to just have a little bit of practice at multiplying those kind of brackets out. And then n squared minus n equals 1 over 5. Right, here we go. Multiply this by 5, multiply this by n squared minus 1. What do we end up with? We've got 5n squared. Take away 17 times 5 is 85. plus, so 72 times 5 is 360 equals n squared minus n. Again, if you do make a mistake, you may well see it. You might kind of notice it a little bit later. So let's make it equal to 0. So take away n squared from both sides, 4n squared, and we're going to add n to both sides here. So again, be careful, because if I add 1 to this, it actually becomes 84, not 86, and then plus 360. Divide everything by 4, because 4 goes into everything there, and that gives me 21n and plus 90 equals 0. Yay! We got there. Last bit of the question, part B. So let's factorise it. So what are we looking for? I've got 2, so we've got a quadratic, and both of them have got to be, it's got to be a minus in there, because that minus there, that's a plus. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply together to give me 90, and add together to give me minus 21. So again, so I'm not 100% sure, I can't see it straight away. Sometimes you can just see these. So what have we got? We've got 1 in 90, 2 in 45, 3 in 30. I'm not finding it. Find it a bit quicker, please. We've got 4, 5, 6. Have I missed it? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? No, 5's going to be 18, and 6. Oh, of course it's 6, isn't it? 6 and 15. There you go, right? We got there just by going through a systematic method, okay? I was panicking a little bit there. I was thinking, oh no, I can't find it. I was suddenly wondering if I'd made a mistake. Right, so the solutions are n equals 6 or n equals 15. Now, let's have a little look and make sure they both make sense. So n is equal to 6. No, that doesn't make sense, okay? That can't be true. N has to be more than 8, right? Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense. So therefore, the answer must be n equals 15. Okay, right. Hope you like doing those questions, because I like doing those ones, because they're got to think about them, and there's all sorts of skills going on in there. Okay, and even if you if you struggle with them, and even struggled right down to the last question and didn't feel that you kind of got too much from it, actually just following the solutions, watching the video really carefully, working through them at the same time would have been really beneficial. Okay, because there's lots and lots of different things going on there. They are very much grade 9 questions. All right, so don't panic too much about those. Okay, so well done for getting that far.